Let's build this LLM-powered chat app together. Prerequisites for this project is that you need to be familiar with Python programming language. You need to know little about OpenAI. But if you don't know much about it, trust me, this tutorial is very easy to follow and I'll guide you every step of the way. All right, so the technologies I'll be using are OpenAI, which is an LLM provider. I'll be using Streamlit. So Streamlit is a Python library that helps you create custom web applications for your data science and machine learning project. And basically what we are building is a personal chat GPT. So your own personal chat GPT that you can, ask questions, get feedback from it and just play around with it. Let me show you what the final project looks like. So as you can see, this is the final project. I called it Ire GPT. So I asked the question, you're a copywriter, write a motivational poem about a basketball player. So this is my prompt and this is the response that I got. So as you can see, this works really, really well. And this is what we'll be building in this tutorial. So if this sounds fun and something you love doing, let's get started. All right. Now we're on VS Code. So the first thing I'm going to do is to create a new file. I'm going to call it requirementstxt. So I created this file. I'm going to add in OpenAI. I'm also going to add Streamlit. So these are the two Python packages we'll be working with. Once we have this, we can go to the terminal by pressing Command J on Mac, and we can just install these packages by typing pip install r requirements.txt. So this is going to install all the packages that are in the requirement.txt file. I have this, so but for those of you that don't have it, please type this in your terminal and you should have it. So let's wait for it. So it's going to give me requirement already satisfied, requirement already satisfied. Yeah. So just hold on for it. So if you don't have these packages or libraries installed, it's going to ask you to install it over again, but I do have it. So moving on. So the next thing to do right now is to create a new file, which is going to be our main file. So I'm going to call it app.py. So in the app.py started, so I'm just going to import OpenAI. So OpenAI, then I'm also going to import Streamlit. So since we're using Streamlit often, so I'm just going to give it an alias. So as st. So wherever you see st, you should know I am calling the Streamlit package. All right. So first thing first, if you still remember how the interface of the finished project looked like, you notice that it had a title. So let's just give the title. So we're going to call it st.title. So then I'm going to call it IreGPT, if you can still remember. The next thing is to connect to OpenAI. So let's just connect to OpenAI. So OpenAI.api key because so just add your OpenAI key here. This is not the conventional way. The conventional way is for you to create an environment variable and you just add the environment variable. For the sake of it, I'm just going to be declaring my variable here. So I'm just going to add it here basically, but I won't be adding my API key here for the sake of privacy and all. So that's that. But there's something that I want us to. I want to check if there's no connection to GPT-4. So once there's no connection to GPT-4, we would like to use the GPT 3.5 Turbo. All right. So this is how I'm going to do. So if OpenAI underscore model, not in, not in, okay, st dot, so session underscore state. So now, what does session underscore state mean? I'm going to show you that in a minute. So session underscore state, open AI model plus GPT 3, 3.5 turbo. All right. So this is going to happen if there's no connection to GPT-4. So as I was saying, what does the session state mean? The session state is a way to share variables between reruns for each user session. So it's an addition to the ability to store and persist state. So Streamlit also exposes the ability to manipulate state using callbacks. So we're going to see more of this session state in this tutorial because I've been using it more often. The next thing is to initialize our chat history, and this is made possible all because of the session state. So if messages not in st dot session state, so st dot session underscore state dot messages, we equal to an empty list. So that's what's going to happen. So if there are no messages in the empty state, in the session state, sorry, if there are no messages in the session state, so we're just going to like make it an empty list. All right. So that's that about that. So let's display the chat messages from history on our app we run. So judging from the explanation that I read on the Streamlit documentation, so it is for message in st dot session state dot messages. So what's going to happen? So with st dot chat underscore message, so let's call message and let's get the role. Then where you understand when I get out, I'm going to explain. So markdown, right? Mm, message. So then the content of the message. All right. So this is settled. So this will display the chat messages from history. All right. So then the next thing for us to do now, right now, is to assign and also determine the message that the user will enter starting from the prompt. All right. So let's do this. So if prompt st dot chat compute, thank you. So let's give it a placeholder. Let's just say type something. You can customize this to your taste. And the next thing is to have a colon. So st dot session state dot messages dot append. So we're going to append the role and the content. So let's do that. Role, which is user, and content. Sorry. So which is the prompt that the user is going to pass in. Something is wrong. Okay. I think I've gotten it. All right. Yeah, that's it. So After that, we'll display the user message in chat message container. So there's a container. So you are going to display that user message in that container. So with st dot chat message, let's call user, then st dot markdown. This one will receive prompt, right? So let's also display the assistant message in the chat message container. So with st dot chat message. So this time around is going to have the assistant. All right, message is older. That's a variable. So it's equals to st.empty. So we're going to make it empty. Then let's declare a variable called full response. So for now, it's going to be empty. All right. So the next thing we're going to do from here is to simulate the stream of response with milliseconds delay. All right. So it's just like a small simulation, but this time around in milliseconds delay. So for response in so for this part, you need to like be conversant with OpenAI. So this is why I mentioned that you need to have an understanding of like little bit understanding of OpenAI. So just this is on the documentation, so you can actually read the documentation and you get this. So for response in OpenAI dot chat. So since it's a completion, so completions dot create. So our model is st dot session state, then just passing open AI model. If you remember, we said right here in the beginning, so if you can't get GPT-4, we should just continue with GPT 3.5 turbo. So we've declared the model, comma. So the next parameter is messages. So messages is a list that contains a dictionary, and the dictionary has two key values there, row and content. So I'm going to do something here, pressing letter M right in front of it. I'm also doing the same for content. All right, and the reason is because I'm going to loop through the messages in the session state. So for M in st dot session underscore state, so dot messages. All right, so once I have this, I can just come down here and I'm going to give it a lively feel, just like the way ChatGPT outputs its response in such a way that it's as if it is like writing it in real time. So the what's the parameter for that is stream, and I'm going to set it to true, and that's it. So I have my comma here. So I jump down to this place to get the content in the response. So I'm going to be using my full response variable with response dot choices, okay, 0 dot delta the content. So I'm getting the content, so I can just make all this a string and make it all a string. So once I'm done with that, the next thing to do is to add a blinking like cursor, just like ChatGPT. So to do this, I'm going to be using the message placeholder that I was using before. So let me show you. Let me find it. message. So as you can see, I declared it here and it was empty. So I'm going to be using it right now. So the next thing is message placeholder. So dot markdown. So it's going to be full response plus. So I'm going to make it this. I copy this. Oh, what's happening? So this is it. So it's going to have that blinking cursor field. That blinking cursor field. So under this, then we can have the message placeholder dot markdown to full response. Passing the full response. So once we are done with this, the last thing for us to do is to add an assistance response to the chat history. So both the user and the assistant want to have their chat history in our UI. So what I'll just have to do is to call the Streamlit again dot session state. As you can see, we're using this session state a lot, and the reason why we're using it is because we want to receive all our messages. We don't want it to like disappear now. So append. So we're going to append right now. So pass in the role, and if you guessed right, it's assistant. All right. Then the content, of course. So which is full response. So once we have this, we have actually succeeded in building our personal chat application that's backed by LLM. So in this case, we're using the OpenAI service for it. So let me just come here. So to do the final part of this, we need to run our application. Let's run our application. So to run it, it is Streamlit run app.py. So once you hit enter, so it's going to like generate the UI for you, and it will give you a local host link so that you can actually like view your application. So let's just wait for it. It's loading up right now. Okay. So it's loading up right now. And if you go back to your terminal, you will see the local URL and the network URL. So it's currently on port 8501. So if you come back to this place, then you should see it. So just give it time. You can see it is running. You can see it over here. And our UI is actually like loading up right now. So here is our Ire GPT, and we can give it a message here. We can say, what is okay, let me give a new message. So write a message to my boss requesting for a little break on Monday due to a family event. So let's just go with this. So as you can see, the first message is the user, and the second message is the bot, which is our Ire GPT. So dear boss name, how do you find you? I wanted to reach out to you regarding a family event that has come up on Monday. I understand that the workload is important. And as you can see, it generated the message for us. So this can be your personal assistant that you can use on your day to day. And trust me, it's going to like save a lot. So the only thing you just need to do is have this script, have your OpenAI key, and you're good to go. So that brings me to the end of this tutorial. I really hope you like it. And if you do like it, please like, share, and subscribe. This is the things that actually like keeps me going to also like create more videos like this. So, and if you've already like subscribed to the channel, thank you so much, and I'll see you guys in the next tutorial. Cheers. Let's run our application. So to run it, it is Streamlit run app.py. So once you hit enter, so it's going to like generate the UI for you, and it will give you a local host link so that you can actually like view your application. So let's just wait for it. It's loading up right now.